This is a look right now outside from our Muskegon Tower cam. We are getting back to that steamy weather of summer.
Yes, we are, but there's a chance, at least a chance, of some rain, especially going into tomorrow morning.
Chief Meteorologist George Lessons is in the Weather Center right now with the forecast. George.
Not only rain, but maybe some strong winds. All the ingredients are in place for perhaps a damaging weather situation as we start to track some strong to possibly severe storms late tonight. Already some storms developed across South Dakota, moving into southern Minnesota. Those are not the ones I'm concerned about. Those most likely will head down toward Chicago by tomorrow morning, but there is a yet to be developing line back behind this one that I'm concerned about coming into West Michigan. Here's our high resolution model, which has done a pretty good job over the last several weeks. You can see that thunderstorm complex over southern Minnesota. That's heading and dissipating down towards Chicago as we get to about 11 o'clock. But watch back up over northern Wisconsin and portions of Minnesota. That's the second line that I'm a little concerned about coming through between about 4 a.m. and 10 a.m. That would be the one that would affect West Michigan with some gusty winds and possibly some wind damage. Right now, the severe weather risk this evening is from southern Minnesota down through northwestern Illinois. We are not going to be seeing any effects from those storms, but the ones later on tomorrow, very late tonight, early tomorrow, will progress across the area. Slight risk exists the rest of the afternoon over southeast lower Michigan. Our risks here in West Michigan, we have a moderate forecast confidence, and if this does play out, we have a very high probability of strong damaging winds, and of course with all of this juicy air around, we have a very high probability of some heavy rainfall. Again, that will be from about 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. here in West Michigan tomorrow. It's warm out there, I don't have to tell you that. Mid and upper 80s inland, low 80s along the lakeshore, but the dew points have climbed as we expected, upper 60s, and we've been flirting with 70 throughout the day today. Anytime it gets above 60, it is steamy. Overnight tonight, we're looking at clear skies this evening, and not until very late tonight will we see that possible severe weather come on through. That will be right around 7, 8 o'clock in Grand Rapids. We'll take a closer hour-by-hour look at the potential for severe weather a little bit later on.
It is going to be in the mid-upper 80s for the next little while. It's not really so bad on its own. However, that muggy humidity may be right there with it.
It's really good for your skin, though. But George, the concern right now is about tomorrow morning and the storms that are moving through the area that have the potential to be severe.
Absolutely. My awareness was heightened a little bit earlier today because of the way these storms are going to be developing, and it is that time of year when we have a tendency to have what we call derechos. Now, for those folks that don't know what a derecho is, that's a Spanish word for straight or straight ahead, and that is a line of some very fast-moving, strong thunderstorms, and all the ingredients are there for that. It just depends on whether or not that indeed happens. This is the anniversary of the 1983 derecho that did affect West Michigan. We'll show you that in a moment. 13 weather ball blinking bright tonight for late night showers and thunderstorms in sight. Just be aware of that. Stay weather aware. It's also green. No change to the warm, humid weather pattern foreseen. And this view brought to you by Countryside Greenhouse of Allendale. Wanted to remind you we have weather on your deck tomorrow. We're going to be having this up in Rockford, so tune in to see some unusual things, including a train. That'll be pretty interesting. Traveling out and about here this evening, no worries, just a lot of clear skies, but after about 4 a.m., some showers and storms will be racing across the region. They'll be out of the area by at least 11 o'clock in Grand Rapids, and temperatures will rebound into the mid-80s again by tomorrow afternoon. Here's what I was talking about. It's been classified as the I-94 derecho. Started out in the very early morning hours on Tuesday, July 19th. It progressed all the way through Minnesota with winds over 109 miles per hour here in Alexandria, Minnesota. It traversed across Wisconsin with 70 to 80 mile an hour winds, and in southwest lower Michigan, we had wind gusts of 48 in Muskegon, 60 in South Haven, and over 70 down at New Buffalo. And this is the kind of scenario that may be setting up again a little bit later on tonight. Right now, it's pretty quiet. We've had fair weather cumulus clouds today. Couple of showers have developed along and south of I-94 this afternoon is expected. But again, these are the storms that we're going to be tracking. Not this area of storms. This is just an initial batch that's going to be moving down towards Chicago by later on this evening. That's why there's a severe thunderstorm watch for those. What I'm looking at is behind this system that is yet to develop. Those storms are expected to develop and push south and east. Here's by later on this evening. These storms through the Chicago area falling apart. This is the area that I'm watching right in through here later on tonight. This is after 11 o'clock. Here they come. They're going to be pushing down into the West Michigan area. The bulk of the wind may actually be out over the lake, but we're going to be right on the edge of that as that pushes through between about 7 and 9 in the morning. Tonight, though, as expected, with those storms coming out of southern Minnesota, the greatest threat this evening, southwest Wisconsin down through Chicago. We're not going to see any effects from those, but early tomorrow there is that slight risk from about Grand Rapids southward as that storm progresses down through the region. That'll eventually end up in Ohio and Pennsylvania by in the afternoon tomorrow if they do continue. And this is the greatest risk for those storms coming through between about 4 and 10 a.m. A very high risk for strong damaging winds. Our forecast confidence is moderate. That just means we're a little more confident than we otherwise might be, but it's not a slam dunk. If it does develop, this is our main threat coming from high winds and of course some heavy downpours, maybe a little bit of urban flooding. So of course, when you see severe weather starting to break out, you'll want to do all of these things, put them on your checklist, make sure you stay weather aware, get your NOAA weather radio on overnight and make sure your phone is turned on and also the appropriate alerts are turned on, and then just check and charge your electronic devices, and then late tonight just make sure you secure all those outdoor objects before you go to bed. Out on Lake Michigan, nice evening, great boating. Waves and winds will be fairly favorable, but late tonight showers and thunderstorms will start to move on in as the winds start to pick up out of the south. Could be some strong waves in the wake of those thunderstorms, but right now a low risk for rip currents across the region as the winds will be light and variable throughout most of the night until those thunderstorms roll in. So for tonight, clear skies early and then increasing clouds after midnight. Possibility of severe weather as those storms race on through. 62 up north to as warm as 69 in Holland. Very muggy night though. Up north, you may drop to as cold as 57. Your dew points aren't quite up into the 60s. You'll be down to 57 there in that cool spot. Low 60s elsewhere. And from Grand Rapids southward, another muggy night. Readings in the mid and upper 60s with those late night storms. Possibly not until the Battle Creek, Kalamazoo, and Ionia areas until after 7 a.m. Forecast, though, then for the next 5 days has another round of some storms popping up on Friday afternoon and especially Friday night. Do not think those will be severe. They'll end on Saturday morning. And then another round Saturday night, final round Saturday night through Sunday morning. And then we'll see a little bit less humidity move in by next Monday. 13 on target forecast. Tuesday and Wednesday, delightful days, upper 70s to low 80s. Another round of storms Wednesday night and Thursday. And then I think we'll cool off, maybe even significantly cool off as we get into the following weekend. Highs may only be in the mid 70s, but just stay weather aware here overnight tonight, guys.
Absolutely. A lot to get through next week. Looking gorgeous, George. Thank you.